Hello from the Australian Jewish Association. Now, some of you may have seen a rather cryptic ad in this week's edition of the Australian Jewish News, and it was placed by Michael Burd, and I'm joined by Michael at the moment. Michael, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, hi Alan. Thanks for having me.
Michael, tell me what prompted you to put this ad in the newspaper?
Frustration, and not frustration at the Black Lives Matter anarchist group, because they are what they are. I'm frustrated with the Jewish community, in particular a Zoom event that was held last week by one of Melbourne's largest synagogues, organised by the local rabbi. Why Black Lives Matter to Jewish Australians, and that was like a red rag to a bull. Look, forgetting we'll talk about the anti-Semitic side of them, but at the moment, the Black Lives Matter anarchists, along with the Antifa anarchists, are pulling people out of the car, they're beating them up, they're destroying cities. So even without touching on the Jewish side of things, they're total anarchists. Of course, they're Marxists and everything else. Their ideology is certainly not. I'm talking about the Black Lives Matter organisation. So I want to differentiate between supporting the human rights of African Americans. Mind you, it would be very nice if they would support the human rights of Jews, and that publicly come out and say we condemn anti-Semitism. That'll never happen. But having said that, the Black Lives Matter organisation clearly have got an anti-Semitic platform. They're associating with Muslim Brotherhood, with the Palestinian activists, with all the people that are not exactly Jewish friendly.
Yeah. Michael, you're not religiously observant, so why did you choose this particular time and this particular platform to make your statement?
Well, for a start off, we've only got one Jewish print media. The person that organised the event actually writes for this newspaper, for the Jewish News. Just a bit of background, what I find ironic is the rabbi, I suppose I can mention, was a public event, Rabbi Genendi from Caulfield Shul. Funny enough, he's on the editorial board of AJAC. Now, in my view, he's like the token lefty on their board. But let me just read you AJAC themselves, an article recently, put out an article by Aaron Shapiro from AJAC saying Black Lives Matter and the scourge of anti-Semitism. And he writes, no wonder Jewish groups are wary of Black Lives Matter. Now, you would think that this rabbi would have enough knowledge in the background, yet he ignores all the anti-Semitic side of Black Lives Matter. And then he invites a rabbi from America. Now, let me describe this particular rabbi from America. I'm reading from the Jewish News in Detroit. He's described as a modern Orthodox maverick. Rabbi Asher Lopatin faces Orthodox disdain. Rabbi Lopatin has made a name for himself as a maverick. His imminent arrival at this particular synagogue in Detroit is made disquiet among many local Orthodox rabbis who have made no secret of their disdain. Now, he's obviously nicknamed a maverick for his extremist views. He's on record of saying he can't see anything wrong with Black Lives Matter. He doesn't seem to think they're anti-Semites, or that they've got any sort of anti-Semitic platform. So anyway, that's why I put the ad in. I just wanted to say, well, in my view, Jewish lives matter, and I was trying to make a point.
Okay, and tell me, have you had any particular response to your advertisement?
Well, no, it only came out on Friday, and I'm expecting next week's letters from the usual suspects. I imagine I'll be called a racist and a bigot. I mean, how dare a Jewish person say that Jewish lives matter? I mean, that's totally racist, isn't it?
Hmm. And presumably you've got some views on the Democrats over in America. How do you see them as far as their view on Israel is concerned?
Well, I don't think there's any argument. You know, we started with Bernie Sanders. We know all about him. Then you've got this squad with Ilhan Omar and that whole troop of Islamists. So I don't think you've got J Street supporting them. Now, J Street boasted when Obama was in power that they had the ear to the president. So obviously if Biden comes in, they will have the ear to Biden. Now, J Street are anything but pro-Zionist. You've got Muslim Brotherhood, you've got Antifa, you've got Black Lives Matter, all supporting the Democrats. I mean, what more can I say? Also, Biden is on record as saying that he would like to bring the policy back to the Obama years vis-a-vis the Israel-Palestine conflict. And he'd like to restart funding to the Palestinians. I mean, he said everything except one thing. He says he won't change the embassy. He won't revert that back. But I think the hatred of Trump by American Jews is so great that they would vote for Mickey Mouse if he was standing for the Democrats. So I think their hatred and, you know, Trump's, if you don't mind me using that term, Trump's anything sensible.
Okay. And just to finish off, Michael, you've made your view about the shul quite clear. What would be your message to the members of Caulfield Shul, the ones that that perhaps would have attended this event, and even the ones that would not have?
Well, let me say for a very start, I had some information on the night of the Zoom event. I've got, in fact, someone sent me the transcript. The subject of anti-Semitism, Black Lives Matter, was not discussed publicly. Somebody tried to bring it up privately between himself and the rabbi, but he wouldn't say anything publicly. So there was, to the best of my knowledge, it was swept under the rug. From what I believe, and this has to be confirmed, I'm not sure if the president and the board of Caulfield Synagogue knew about this event. I suspect they didn't, and if they did, I'd be very surprised. So I've had a lot of complaints from, I've got many friends that go to that particular synagogue. I was a bar mitzvah there myself. Mind, that was a long time ago, but the friends that I've got to go there were absolutely appalled. And obviously they're very cautious about taking it up publicly because they've been members there for many, many years and their families have. But let's put it this way, there's a lot of unhappy people there. Okay, on that note, Michael, thanks for your time, and we look forward to seeing if there's any reaction to your advert, and no doubt you'll have something to say if there is. Michael, thanks for joining us today. Yeah, that's all. Bring it on. Thanks, Alan.